I belong here. I don't think I fit in.
Oh, nonsense. Of course you do.
Oh, no, I mean it. I mean it. It's just somebody must have goofed if I gotta stay here another day.
Peace! Professor Griff, public enemy, the ex-minister.
Which means it's too strong.
All right, greetings. This is Professor Griff, and of course, y'all already know this is Serious Minds RNTV. Hold on. All right, we're black. I got a few things to talk about, but yeah, let's start off with greeting everyone with a warm greeting, inviting everyone in. Thank y'all for tuning in. Just from the outstart, I want to thank a few people. Thanks everyone. I haven't been on here in a minute because I just got out of jail. That's internet jail, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. So since my last time I came on, and I talked about the Star Strangle banner and your man Flavor Slave, and Chuck Flea, I got put in internet jail, so they shut the channel down the whole bit. So yeah, but let me just say from the outstart, I got a few people to thank, and I got a deep, warm, yet again another deep, warm, heartfelt apology to send out. But let me do this first. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this information up first. Hold on. Well, while I'm here, I want to thank everyone. Thank everyone that supported me, especially the comments that you left on the Instagram post in which I couldn't really see them because I couldn't get on. And thank everyone for leaving the comments on Facebook and YouTube. I want to especially give a shout out and thank. Hold on. Thank. I want to thank all of the people that threatened me. Thank y'all very much. Yeah, just keep the threats coming, but you didn't necessarily have to put it on social media because I couldn't see it anyway. You could have just called me and threatened me, or just sent me a message. Just to let you know, I do know how to dance, and I can entertain you any kind of time you want to be entertained. I can definitely entertain you. All right, and I got a couple of cats that's just itching to entertain you. So thank y'all for the threats. I really appreciate that. Wendy Boggs, what's going on with you? Wendy Boggs, you said, what was the controversy? The controversy was Professor Griff, kind of checking Flavor for singing the Star Strangle banner. Shout out to Quan. What's good with you, Quan? All right. I haven't been on here for a minute. I was just explaining to the people, Quan, that I just got out of internet jail, so I'm back. I don't have all the full functions of me controlling these platforms. They threatened me. I got one more strike on IG and one more strike on YouTube. So yeah. But some good news and some bad news. I'm pulling up all of the people that I want to thank for the donations. Whether it's hold on. Whether it's PayPal, whether it's Cash App, whatever, those individuals know who they are, but I wanted to read them today. So I guess I'm going to have them handy and ready on Thursday to read. But all of the people that come on and support the platform, thank you very much. All right, so let me get to the apology. In my talk And a lot of times, you know, you talk, emotions are flaring up, and you kind of moving through the conversation because some things are really dear to us. And some conversations you could have and you could just push forward and they don't really mean anything. All right, but I got a couple of phone calls. I'm not going to tell y'all which elders, but I got a couple of phone calls, had a few conversations, and had a deep-rooted conversation with Kalanji Chaba Changa at the behest of myself contacting my good brother Trent out of New Orleans. And we had a deep conversation. And basically, they was basically saying, which, you know, at the end of the conversation, I agreed. Professor Griff, you was just kind of out of line when you said that Kalanji had his hand under the table. He was holding Chuck's nuts or balls or something I said to that degree. And you know something? I had to humble myself and say, okay, you know something? You're right. I offered Kalanji an apology. I told him I would take the last, I would take the show down, edit it, and put it back up, long as I take that part out. And I'm a man of my word, so tomorrow I'm going to get with editor. We're going to pull it down, and we are going to pull it down, edit it, and put it back up. All right. As for all the other stuff, yeah, it's just gonna stay there. All right. So I'm gonna do that. Not because I don't want to say that either I was so wrong or he was so right. I think it's just what men do. Get on the phone, talk it out. And this is what I ask men to do. So when they do it, I can't not turn around and be that individual that's beyond reproach. I can't stick my chest out and say, I'll do what I want to do, blah, 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 and offer lip service. If the brother was correct and he was right, then, yeah, he just said he don't play that kind of stuff. And as long as I've known Kalanji, he's never been one of them kind of individuals to play that kind of stuff. So I'm going to humble myself yet again. Second time in 2 weeks, I'm apologizing for something. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. And I can admit that. All right. Nah, Nick, I got to pull that down and take it out because although I saw it that way, because I looked at Kalanji as a strong revolutionary in the community, and he always kept it 10 toes down, I got to honor that, man. I just can't be that kind of dude. I can't honor it. I have to. But anyway, moving forward. So like I said, I'm not going to kind of go into the whole thing with how many people threatened me and that kind of thing. So I did the Carl Nelson show. I did I talked with an hour with D Nick for Microphone Misfits. I talked to a few other people and I got a few other interviews coming up. I'm not on this internet thing where I want to rant about how bad I was done in by Public Enemy or Chuck D, Flavor Flav. I'm not on no tour. You understand what I'm saying? You understand? So it's one of those kind of situations where I think right is right and wrong is wrong. You understand what I'm saying? My legacy and what I've helped build as far as Public Enemy is concerned is tied in with those particular individuals, whether either one of us like it or not. I was told by Chuck he don't really care about his legacy. He said he cares about his personal life and his finances and all that other kind of stuff. He really don't care about the legacy. So I was like, okay, well, I care about mine. You understand what I'm saying? I care about how the legacy that I leave so that others that don't even know me can come along and look at that and build off of that and stand on Professor Griff's shoulders to move this particular thing forward. Anyway, Public Enemy has become an institution, not to eat, and it's not, no individual is bigger than Public Enemy in and of itself. You understand what I'm saying? Someone left me a smart ass comment and said, ain't nobody to come see you anyway, Otis. I laughed with him and I said, okay, I got you. All right. So, but with that said, I want to thank everyone that supported me. And I do, like Quan, I do listen to the elders when they call and I do answer the phone. So just to let everyone know, I am concerned about the legacy of Public Enemy, and I don't like what I see happening with the legacy of Public Enemy and who am I not to say anything? I was careful not to drag and bring Terminator's name in this because I feel the same way Terminator X feel. You understand what I'm saying? So, all right. Anyway. Mate. We'll talk about that. So, at the end of all of that, what I decided to do, Quan, is go ahead and dump that information. Dump that information in a book, in a film, in some other stuff, in case when I do go to the essence, people can pull from that, and y'all can hear what Professor Griff says in his own words. Now, for the people that came on my post on all 4 platforms, and you left comments about the Congo, all right? Thank you, Wendy Boggs. Really appreciate you. Wendy said, I care about the legacy, and we should all care about the legacy. You understand? We should feel some kind of way when a member of Public Enemy does the Star Spangled Banner. I mean, that's just, anyway. So there were some individuals that left some comments under my post in reference to the Congo. So since I had some time off, not necessarily off because I'm always working, I looked into the Congo, dug up some information, and it's a lot more than we could possibly go over right now. All right? It's more than we can go over right now, but I just wanted to touch on some things because I studied what was going on in the Sudan. Every single night I study on what's going on in Nigeria, Chad, Burkina Faso, Mali, and there's a few other places on the continent that I'm looking at, and I'm kind of, I'm looking at and say to myself, okay, what's going to happen with this? You understand what I'm saying? So, now, so I think if we all gave one another room for growth, I think it'd be a beautiful thing. When we get to the point where we don't want to talk, I think it poses a problem. And you understand what I'm saying? But even when we do talk, we have to make sense, and we got to own up and take accountability for what we've said and done. You understand what I'm saying? And just to let y'all know, apologies, just the mere fact that you're apologizing, it means something to me, but no, you got to come behind the apology with your action, and you got to do something very real and tangible. You understand what I'm saying? Very real. Anyway, the genocide in the Congo. I found an article that I thought was very informative. All right, so hold on. So let me see. It says the Congo has a rich and troubled history. Exploitation of the Congo's vast natural resources have been an ongoing theme over 100 years. So if we look at the Congo, not part and parcel, we have to look, I'm trying to say we have to look at the whole continent. But to look at the DR Congo as one country, and what tends to happen is we don't make the connection. All right. So what I did on the Carl Nelson show, I did make the connection when a young lady came on the show, and you can go back and hear it for yourself. And she basically said, Professor Griff, why do you think that we as Black people should get involved in something that does not necessarily seem to be something that we should worry about when you have two, and I think she said two white nations or people warring with one another? Why should Black people get involved? So, with talk radio, you only have a few minutes, or really a few seconds, to answer every kind of question. So I tried my best. So I said, sister, listen. And I said this, I think I said this first. The fact that we are the mothers and fathers of civilization, and we're responsible for all of the people on the planet, whether distant, up close, or whether you think we're involved or not. Number two, I said that we have to pay attention to what's going on there, because the same people that are doing what they're doing to the Palestinian people, to what they're doing in the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, and in other places, whether it's Lebanon, Jordan, or wherever, Syria, or wherever, those are the same people, all right, that was financing the apartheid regime there in South Africa. That when Professor Griff took to the stage at the beginning of the Public Enemy show, I came on the stage and basically said, down with apartheid, free Mandela, over a hip hop beat. I said in that interview on Carl Nelson's show, I said, and making the connection, I said the same people that are in Gaza doing that to the Palestinians are the same people that financed the South African Boers, all right, who set up the apartheid government there and did everything that they did to our people. Those are the same people that did not want our people over the precious diamonds and minerals that were there in the earth in South Africa. Right now, those same people, the same people were there in Latin America and in other places. Israeli mercenaries were going down there training those that would set up opposition to the governments down there, and they would murder and assassinate rulers and leaders and install and implement and put in their leader so that they could keep companies like Chiquita Banana and other places thriving in Latin America. All right? So we were getting leader after leader that spoke for the people, but along with America, yeah, we're going to talk about Ghana in a minute, Ghana and Nigeria, because what they're doing is foul. Anyway, we would get leader after leader that would speak for the people, and then we would get the mercenaries from Israel that would come down there bringing arms and bringing training and training the opposition to overthrow legitimate governments, legitimate people that was voted in with the democratic elections. We could talk about Allende and a few other people, but to make a long story short, it's the same people, I told the sister. And it's the same people in the Congo. All right? Israel is the #1 exporter and importer of raw diamonds, and they import raw diamonds and export polished diamonds coming out of the Congo. The same people, thank you, Siddiqui Bakari. Yeah, Siddiqui Bakari, what your fat, sloppy, slothful friend came on and left a disparaging message for me. I guess trying to get my attention, but yeah. Anyway, it's the same people. The same people in the Gaza and Strip and West Bank. Same people in Latin America. Same people that help finance the apartheid government in South Africa are the same people that's in the DR Congo right now as we speak. So when Professor Griff in the 1980s, 89 to be exact, said that these people are responsible for the majority of this wickedness that go on the globe. How you gonna say that, Professor Griff? No one stepped to the plate and asked me to prove it, because I can prove it. Are these people at the root of this wickedness that's going on? Yeah. Yes. I don't have time to prove it tonight, but I can prove it. There ain't no problem. So I'm saying to the sister that was on the show, I said, listen, sis, it's the same people. Now, let me tell you where it hits home, Quan. The same people in Latin America, destabilizing governments, the same people that finance the illegal regimes down there with the apartheid government, the same people in the Gaza Strip and West Bank are the same people in the Congo. Now, this is where it hits home, family. They're the same people running the music industry and running hip hop today. Same people. Same people. Still with me, Quan? Same people that if you put up a banner just to say free Palestine, you're getting fired from your job and they're coming after you, cutting up your source of income. Same people. Same people, Quan. Thank you very much, Voodoo Glitch. It's the same people that own the prison industrial complex. It's the same people that's up in the United States government, up in the higher echelons of the United States government, that got a stranglehold. This is the other thing I said back in the 80s. They got a stranglehold on the United States government, and they're really controlling the United States government. So that when the vast majority of the people protesting all around the globe, millions of people are protesting. All right, Sleepy Joe and the rest of them characters, them Zionists that's in and around Sleepy Joe, don't want a ceasefire when the world is calling for a ceasefire. I am saying with unequivocally, with my raspy voice, that if they claim that they are going to go after, and I'm not defending Putin, don't get me twisted, if they're going to arrest Putin and bring him up on war crimes and criminal charges, saying that he's a war criminal, Putin is sitting in the back seat to what what is the man's name? Netanyahu is doing. Netanyahu is doing 10,000 times worse. So they said to me today that what they're doing in the Gaza Strip and in the West Bank is 455 times worse than what happened in 9/11. So it's 455 9/11s. 450 9/11s. 455, I think she said. So you mean to tell me they're saying Putin is doing this, Putin is doing that, Putin is doing this. Well, look at what Netanyahu is doing, and it's 10 times worse. So now let me put a cap on it, Quan. Then let's dive into the Congo. I just had to lay a base. These people that are there doing that, these Zionists, let me just outright say it, that are doing that, Quan, if you took a map from where these people originally originated, work with me, fam, which is Khazaria, or because they're Khazars. If you took an old map of Khazar or Khazaria and you laid it over a modern map today, where these people would originate from would be Ukraine. I'm going to say that again. This would be Ukraine. If you took a map from where these so-called Jews-ish people come from, the Zionists, right? You took a map and you put it over a modern map today, that would be Ukraine. This is where these people are from. All right, let's tie everything in now. I said I wasn't going to curse. I said I was going to be nice, studious, and polite today. Who is Zelensky? Who y'all think Zelensky is? Talk to me. Zelensky and Netanyahu, they the same people. Thank you very much, Travis. Travis, you got it right. Travis Sankofa. Wendy Boggs, you said you don't know? Netanyahu and Zelensky, they the same people. Thank you very much. Oh, so, okay, this is Serious Minds. I forgot. Y'all already know. Y'all giving me the answer. They the same people. But the sad part about what was going on there in Ukraine, all right, you talking about hating black people. Oh my God. So Sleepy Joe is funding the Israeli/Zionist Jewish cat in Ukraine, and he's financing the same one in Israel. Same people. Khazars. Same people. I'm laying all of this out because I said it back in the 80s. I had the information, but yeah, when you get to the point where you rely on people to cover your back and you end up getting done in, it's like, wow. It's like, oh, okay. Everything is coming to light now. Everything is coming out. All right. Millions of people are online saying it. Everything is coming out now. So here now, we have the same people that decided to fund their existence there in that particular region by bringing raw diamonds and raw material out of not only the Congo, but other places on the continent. Though the Congo has a rich and troubled history of exploitation because of its vast natural resources that are in that particular region for well over 100 years. The history of the DR Congo timeline. Hold on. Quan, I'm going to put this in the, hold on. Anybody can go to it. That's the link, family. I put the link, all right, in the chat. The history of the DR Congo timeline, and I'm not going to be long. It says early history, the 1300s, the Congo Empire, a highly structured and developed state, rules over the region that today covers parts of southwestern Congo, northern Angola, and slice of the Republic of Congo. It lasts for some 500 years until the 1400s. 1482, the Portuguese explorers arrived at the mouth of the Congo River, establishing the first contact between the Congo Kingdom and Europeans. Then the 1500s, we know it was the transatlantic slave trade that impacted the Congo. And then prior to that, well, not prior to that, but after that, it was the Berlin Conference, and they carved up Africa. All right? They carved up Africa. So then in the 1500s, after the Atlantic slave trade impacts the Congo over the next 300 years, for more than 5 million slaves are captured from within several hundred miles of either side of the Congo river's mouth, which most ship to Brazil. So the people in Brazil are related to the people that are there in the Congo. All right? That's not all. All right? They took people from different parts of Africa and shipped them in the holds of ships to Brazil. So the people from Congo and the people from Ghana and the West Coast and other places mixed and mingled now. And now all of us are there in Brazil, in America, and a few other places. Moving right along. Moving towards the 1800s now. So between the 1500s and the 1800s, the rise of the Cuba Federation, another highly structured state. And what now they keep saying a highly structured state because this was advanced civilization. They didn't need Europe to come in to civilize them. All right. So then when the 1800s hit and they carved up Africa, Belgium's King Leopold starts his colonial project in Central Africa. All right. So in and around 1870s, so to speak, the British explorer Henry Stanley, who navigated the Congo River to the Atlantic Ocean for King Leopold, now he's working for King Leopold, opened it up as a trade route. So in that particular region now, there was moving black bodies who were property now and precious minerals. So when you're talking about free slave labor And if any of the enslaved Africans at that particular point would get caught with anything, the punishment was to cut off their hands. So then they would have to dig with their feet. All right. And if they just cannot cut, they used to dig with their feet and take some of the minerals and put it in their mouth. All right. So their tongues would get cut out and their ears would get cut off. All right. Moving towards the 1900s, Leopold announces establishment of the Congo's free state under his direct control. 10 to 15 million people lost their lives. We're talking about under the Belgians. We're talking about under King Leopold II. All right. 10 to 15 million people. Listen, we could do without European countries. European countries can't do without us. They have to have Africa. Are you following me, family? Okay. Okay. So now, not only were these individuals shipped to Wendy, that question was for when you're saying why to what? Not only the people were shipped to Belgium, but they were shipped to Jamaica, all the Caribbean islands. All right. So now in the late 1800s, there were other people that came inside of Africa, trying to take over those particular areas, and there were wars. Why do they need Africa? Europeans, white people? You're asking why? Because all of the precious minerals that run this entire planet, Wendy, is there in Africa, up under black African feet in the soil of Africa. One of the main minerals there, Wendy, cobalt and other minerals that are there, that they use not only to fuel economies, but to run computers, run cell phones, basically run everything. The minerals are there. This is why they carved up Africa, and all of the European countries went down to exploit black people. This is why when you study the history of Africa, the leaders that came up in Africa, some of them were legitimate, some of them worked for the European powers. This is why in Africa you would get coup after coup after military coup after coup. All right. I'm not going to run the whole history down, but you could just Google the history of the DR Congo's timeline, because in my talks about Israel, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, and talking about that particular region, dealing with global political science, I keep hearing people talk about the Congo. So I just said to myself, well, let's talk about the Congo, all right, to let people know we can chew bubblegum and walk at the same time. I can talk about what's going on in Israel right now, or the Gaza Strip, and we can talk about the Congo. But right now, let's focus on the Congo and what's going on in Africa. The sad part about this, Quan, and the vast majority of y'all that are listening, the same people that want to run their mouth about what about the Congo, them people don't even consider themselves Africans, Quan. I looked them up. You go on some of these people's pages, they don't claim to be black or African. They claim to be indigenous, but they can't tell me the indigenous languages. They can't tell me the indigenous tradition, customs, or whatever. Okay. We're not going to go off on that tangent. All right. Buffalo Black, peace, Queen. So now, What is going on there today since the 90s? What's going on there today that I'm hearing so many people talk about? Millions of people have lost their life in the Congo. Well, in the 1960s, the year I was born, the independence of not only the Congo, but other places in Africa. All right. Leaders have risen up. So who could tell me what was one of the main leaders in the Congo in the 1960s that rose up to take on the Belgian government? What was his name? Come on, talk to me, Buffalo Black. Blantonio Todd, talk to me. Somebody give me his name before I move on. We should know that much about the Congo. Who was the leader that rose up? Thank you. Thank you very much, Carl. Patrice Lumumba. Now that we've heard and we know his name, now we need to do the research on Patrice Lumumba. What was his philosophy? What was his ideology? What organization did he start? Who was Patrice Lumumba? And then who were those individuals that did the bidding of the Europeans to assassinate Patrice Lumumba? So in the 1960s, the Congo gained its independence before the handover. Belgium robs the treasury and transfers the debt to the new Congolese government. So they take all the natural resources out, they trash the place, take its treasury, and then the debt that the Congolese people owed Belgium after being enslaved to the Belgium, they passed that debt on to the new Congolese government that came into power. Patrice Lumumba wins the Congo's first elections and becomes the coalition government prime minister. He attempts to steer a neutral course between the United States. Now, what the hell is the United States doing over there? And the Soviet Union at the height of the Cold War. You'd have to know the difference between a hot war and a Cold War. All right? What is a Cold War, family? What is a Cold War? Congolese national movement. Thank you. No communication, no diplomatic ties. Tensions are rising. It's not a hot war where they're using military weapons. It's a Cold War. Still a war, but it's a Cold War. All right, let's move on. So now the Congolese government comes into play. The United Nations asks the United Nations for assistance against internal aggression, because now we have covert action happening. The CIA is there. The United States is there. Belgian secret agents, I forgot their equivalent to the CIA or the Mossad, but they're there. You're right, when the passive aggressive Cold War. So they're there creating tensions. All right, Belgium still creating these little proxy skirmishes and flare-ups there. Still want to be there, but not there. All right. United States is there. Lumumba, after I believe later on in the 60s, later on that year, 1960, Lumumba was removed from power and was arrested in a coup d'etat by Colonel Joseph Mobutu, with encouragement from the Belgian and the United States. It was the United States and the Belgian government, all right, that financed Joseph Mobutu to have a coup there in the Congo to overthrow the legitimate government of Patrice Lumumba. All right, 1961, Patrice Lumumba is shot by a firing squad with the assistance of the Belgian officials after the CIA attempts failed to assassinate him. His body was secretly buried later on and dug up. Then listen to me, family. They buried the man, dug the man's body up, cut the man's body up into pieces, took the pieces of the body and put it in acid. You're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. Hold on, somebody's at my door. All right, sorry about that. Somebody was at my door, but good. It gave y'all time to think about what I just said. Patrice Lumumba was assassinated by government agents that was working for the Belgian government, along with the CIA and government officials from Belgium. All right, arrested Patrice Lumumba, tied the man to a tree, shot him, buried the man in an unmarked grave. Found those particular soldiers. They went back, dug up the body, chopped the body up into pieces, and put the body in acid. This is how much they hated Patrice Lumumba. So after hacking the body up, it says, and dissolved it in acid in an attempt to cover up the crime. All right? If it was legitimate, why are you trying to cover up the crime? All right? The plane carrying the UN Secretary General DAG crashes while en route to the Zambia for peace talks about the conflict in the Congo. I think that was the creator working miracles. They done planned a coup, overthrew Patrice Lumumba, installed Mobutu, shot the man up and dissolved his body in acid, and the very one that was responsible there that was doing that got on the plane and the damn plane crashed. All right. So I'm not going to go over the whole history, but we need a timeline to work ourselves up to what I keep hearing from people talking about. There's a genocide in the Congo. Well, if there's a genocide in the Congo, what is the cause of the genocide in the Congo? You're right. Malcolm X said, you look just as much Congolese as the Congolese. If the Congolese showed up right now driving Uber Eats and delivered your food, you can't tell whether that he's from Detroit or from the goddamn Congo. So stop playing. You're right. France, Belgium, the United States are all complicit in the assassination of Patrice Lumumba. All right. Thank you. So let's fast forward all the way to today. What's the I mean, there was peace talks. There was people coming in trying to stabilize the particular region. Other African countries got their independence, but they couldn't do anything simply because the opposition coming from Europe, they were setting up these like they're doing now. We discovered that in our studies and research that when you see groups like Boko Haram and ISIS and all of these other paramilitary troops and organizations and militias, they're financed by France and other people, Germany and other people. All right, so we have to be very mindful of that. So let's fast forward it to today so we can sum this up. There was a new government in place, 06, 07, but still the same conflict. What I'm trying to say is the Africans there were not benefiting from the natural resources that are there in Africa. So now when you start to see coups in Africa, they want to benefit from the natural resources that all the white European countries are benefiting from. What is wrong with that? That brings me back to my other point, Quan. One of the main reasons why Israel wants Palestinians out of that particular, or off of the Gaza Strip and off that land, is because there is gas and oil minerals up under that particular part of the earth. Go do your research. Tell me I'm lying. Come on now, talk to me. Gas and oil deposits there under the Gaza Strip. Now you see why they have to get rid of the Palestinians. Now you see why they was instrumental in funding Hamas, controlled opposition. We're not going to go too far into that. All right. July of 2009, Switzerland hands over $6 million of frozen assets to Mobutu's family, saying that the Congolese government had taken too long to demand it be returned to the state. The same one you put in power, who you installed as the leader in the Congo, which was responsible for one of the people responsible for the assassination of Patrice Lumumba, you're going to turn money back over to him. Okay, family, talk to me. Where are we at today with this genocide in the Congo? You don't mind if I take a bite of my vegan food that just came? All right, talk to me. Keenan Mitchell, thank you very much for your research. I said it earlier. Who do you think controlled the diamond, was controlling the diamond mines in South Africa? Who do you think are controlling the mines there that our brothers and sisters are digging with their hands in the earth for these precious minerals? Who do you think, Juan? De Beers? Yep. Some said the Zionists? Yep. I got you, Michael X. Yep. Oppenheimer? Yep. We forgot to put the ish on that first word, Quan. So now, other people now are taking advantage of the black Africans that are there in the Congo, and everybody's got their hands in it now. The East Indians are there. Some other European countries came back into the Congo. So we have to understand this. So when we say there's genocide happening, you just can't leave that as a blank statement. We got to define who is committing genocide on the Congolese people there in Africa. We got to ask the question and we got to answer the question. All right, so family, I know this has been long, but we had to lay out a timeline before we got into this whole idea of asking the question, why is there a genocide there in the Congo? Who's committing the genocide? The military militias that are there, who are they being financed by? We have to answer these questions. We don't have enough time to do it tonight, but I'll be glad to come back on and do a follow-up so we can answer these particular questions. And we got to start bringing receipts, fam. You understand what I'm saying? Keenan Mitchell, thank you very much. Jan Smuts, a Zionist Jew, started the apartheid in South Africa. There's a kibbutz named after him in Israel. He was partners with Theodore Herzl, the founder of Zionist occupation of Palestine. I keep telling y'all, and I'm going to end it on this note, these are the same people. They're the same people, family. Same people. These people, they're not there in, well, they are, but they're not there in Palestine worried about Hamas because they was helping finance Hamas. They want the precious minerals that are there under that particular landmass over there in the Gaza Strip. But anyway, this is Professor Griff. I love you all to life, fam. I'm happy I'm out of jail. Peace. Eric B, what's good with you? And they're doing that right now. African nations are coming together in their understanding, and they're telling European countries that they got to go. And all of the flunkies that work for the European countries, they got to go. All right, Quan. All right, family. I love y'all to life. This is Professor Griff. I got to get out of here. Inshallah, I will see y'all on Thursday. Hopefully by the weekend. I'll have my first single done for my album, The Enemy of My Enemy. I think the first single is called Pause. All right. All right, family. It's Professor Griff. I love y'all to life. And I'll see y'all down the road, man. Serious minds attract serious minds. Seriously, fam. All right. All right, Quan. Peace. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate y'all. All right. All right. Love you all to life, fam. Peace. I'm out.
Which means it's too strong.
Professor Griff, public enemy, the ex-minister.